morning. Good morning. It is 2:45 a.m. I'm on my way to the gym right now. Let me think. Equal. We're all equal. We're all given the same opportunity. We're all given the same chance. The reason why I know that that's true is because I've seen people who maybe didn't come from such favorable backgrounds. Like if you look at my past, I did not come from a favorable background. Matter of fact, my background almost looked as if I was set up to fail. The funny thing, everything that appears to be one way typically is not that way. And if you notice something, I bought this children's book and it's Aesop's Fables. And in Aesop's Fables, there's a particular fable called the Hare and the Tortoise. And if you look at it, it doesn't look like the tortoise should be the one on the winning side of this race, but it's the hare that loses. And if you look at life, if you just kind of look at how everything imitates life, it's always telling you that things that appear to be one way aren't always that way. So you should never assume because your situation isn't favorable that it's not possible. There's a lot of people. Steve Harvey was homeless. Tyler Perry, homeless. Rambo, Sylvester Stallone, homeless. He even sold his dog. Arnold Schwarzenegger, a foreigner. Like if you really look at it, all the ones who've achieved great success have all had strikes against them. I think it's the will inside of you. I think it's the person. I can attribute, and I think this is another part to being able to identify actually who you are and whose you are, is by knowing where did it come from. And for me, I haven't ran across that relative who was the one who was paving the way, and I can look at them and say, you're the one who kept this going. You know, you're the one that struck out and made a run. That's me. I'm that one. For this family, I'm that one. But I can look back and I can say, I had a grandmother that prayed over me. Like I honestly believe, because outside of those prayers, it was the prayers to keep me alive. It was the prayers to bring me to God. It was my grandmother praying for me that brought me around, that bought me enough time to come around, that bought me enough time to come full circle. It was my grandmother. And at the end of the day, we all have something that we can kind of tip our hat to and say, that was the point that the journey began at. We're all equal. I don't think that the person who was born with wealth has more than I do. I think now they have to learn how to deal with something that they didn't earn. I have to learn how to get something that I never had. Both of us have a struggle. And it's the same struggle that makes us equal. It's the same struggle that levels the playing field. So how can anybody fix their mind to think or to come up with the idea that one person is entitled to the riches of the land or the riches that life has for them, and the other person isn't? That's clearly a decision. Simply because we all do have the same options. Our problems may not be identical, but you have money you were born into. I don't have money at all. We both have to figure out how to get through the obstacle that we're in, regardless. So my advice would be to find out where your value's at. I mean, really identify where your value is at. Identify who's been praying for you. Old people pray for people. I'm thankful that I'm not an old person praying. I'm thankful that I'm a young person praying. I'm thankful that I pray for my family. I'm thankful that I pray with them. Because I've never seen anything more powerful to make things happen than prayer. Because not only does prayer make things happen, but prayer also reminds me that it's preparing me for what it is that's getting ready to come into my life. Sometimes what you're asking for, you're not ready for. So it's best to just be patient. It's best to just let things work themselves out. It's best to not rush it. It's best to not force the issue. It's best to just know that it'll happen. It's best to know that it's just possible. Then it's best to just keep moving forward. And just keep believing. I looked in the mirror this morning, man. I'm so proud of myself. I looked in the mirror. I don't know, maybe the mirror, my mom gave my wife this mirror. And it's like it's a vanity mirror. You stand up in front of it. Folds out, and I set it up in the closet. I figure, well, this is a good area. She can, look in this mirror right here. I was looking in the mirror. I don't know if it was the mirror, but I said it in a way. I didn't say it like arrogantly. I said it in a way like, man, you're looking good. And I can say that because it's been a long, hard battle. Every time I drive by somebody who is overweight, and I know if you're overweight, I'm not going to sit here and, oh man, you shouldn't talk about people like, no, you're overweight, dog. You're 5'2", you weigh 200 pounds. You're overweight. Let's air that out. That way we can get the truth out. We can do something about it. But when I see people like that, I secretly pray for them. And I say, I believe confronting the truth allows you to get better results. And I'll pray for them and I'll say, you got a long battle ahead of you, but you can do it. Because I know what it feels like to have weight on you and it be sticking to you like a fly on some barbecue food, or on a plate of food from a barbecue. You know, that nagging fly, every time you shoo fly, it just won't go away. That's how that fat be. But even so, more than that, I know that there's been situations financially I've struggled. I know there has. I'm so thankful, though, that I can recall all the days that I've won. But consciously, subconsciously, I know that there's been days that I've lost. So I know that you got to take the good with the bad. It's just right now, the stakes that I'm playing for are higher. So the way this plays out is going to be a little bit different than I'm used to. I'm not driving the car I want, but I sure am. Listen, this thing is kind of old. Me and my wife got to share it. I've driven luxury. But I sure am thankful for it. I sure am thankful for it. I am very blessed. And you are very blessed too if you just think about it. If you just consider where you've come from, what you've endured under, the fact that you didn't put that noose around your neck and kick that chair from underneath you, or you didn't take that gun and put it up to your temple and blow your brains out. You need to thank God that you done came through that and you're going to see better days. And if you can keep a clear vision of what it is that you want, not only will you see better days, but you'll see what you want.